but the true genuine article since day one, there's only a couple hundred of those when there are thousands to tens of thousands of MCs and artists. So that's that.
Oh yeah, it kind of, in a way, killed some of the value in it, and I honestly think that the end of the hyphy movement was kind of the end of that era of the value that used to be there.
Well, you could say that, and if you saying that, I'll say it in other words. So it was almost like they brought the hyphy movement in to close the door on consciousness and absolute originality and absolute creativity. Because nowadays, this new young generation, no offense to any of them, if you're good at what you do, then be great at what you do. But many of this new young generation, most of the music, and when I say most, I do mean most, if it sounds the same. The beats sound the same, the content's the same, their flows are the same, everybody's rapping exactly the same. So never in a time in hip-hop has it been like this, where everybody's striving to be the same. It's crazy.
It is, and I think you're absolutely right that the hyphy really did kind of close the door, because it wasn't just the hyphy movement at that time. I mean, what I noticed was there was something in the industry that I guess I haven't really seen other than this one time. It's kind of a weird thing where we had the hyphy movement come out of the Bay, but then we also had the crunk movement come out of the South. We had multiple music movements and multiple styles hitting the forefront at the same time, where it was almost like a battle royale. But there was something involved in it. I think that was just like the grand finale of originality.
You're right, bro, and it is a crazy time, and that's why a majority of the media caters to those sounds, and that's just not the most part.
Yep.
Because you gave me an opportunity to do what I'm doing right now. So I'd have to say that's what that is. It's the independent hip-hop media that's keeping hip-hop alive. The mainstream media is not keeping hip-hop alive. They're keeping themselves alive.
Exactly. Everything's forming into one weird mixed genre of hip-hop and pop. Everything all in one.
Absolutely right. And I just read somewhere today that even R&B has been absorbed into hip-hop, and that's why a majority of the music of this new younger generation is very melodic. Yes, they're singing / rapping on their choruses, but they're not doing it with their own voice. It's being auto-tuned. So, and again, I'm going to comment on auto-tune. Auto-tune is a tool. I believe the mainstream was using auto-tune for many, many years, and that's why many mainstream artists, not just in hip-hop, but artists, in pop and whatever other music, I believe they were using auto-tunes their whole career, and that's what made them sound so good, and that's what started the trend of rapping or singing over your own music, over your own lyrics, because they can't sing. They couldn't rap. These people that use auto-tunes before we got to use it. There's many fake careers that have been made. We just don't know about them. So this is just the angle that I come from. So what I'm saying is that auto-tunes, people today, the masses would rather hear a hook on a song with auto-tune than hear somebody actually sing the hook, which I think is ridiculous. But that's the times we're in.
Well, I definitely agree with that. And that's totally where, there's technology has been great for the music industry, but at the same time, I've seen a lot of as well when everything got taken in with technology, social media, and everything else.
Right.
What would you say you're taking on the social media takeover?
Wait, say that question again?
What would you say you're taking on social media taking over the industry? As far as do you see it more of a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, I think how I believe the biggest things in our world are controlled by the biggest things that we know not of. I'll just say that. And so it's an agenda. And so social media is absolutely controlled by things not by us. The only thing we control are what we type. And half of us don't even control that because we're being so mind controlled by so much different shit in our lives that we're just regurgitating shit. But my point is, on the social media, I don't just base artists off of their social media stats and their views on YouTube. I don't do that. I can't do that because many of the artists that I know made their careers and have humongous successful careers selling physical music and doing physical events, showing up on a stage, getting paid that way, not the digital world. So social media is just another aspect of the digital world trying to control our physical world. And I don't believe that it's the way to go, and I don't believe the future should go that way. I think it has its value, but I don't believe that social media should dictate anybody's decisions on any major question or conflict.
I definitely agree with that, man. Like, there's got to be that balance because, like, you know, people like us, we may not have the hugest Instagram following, but at the same time, we know enough people, we can walk into certain doors no one else can, but people are going to look at that and not even just overlook it because they're looking at, oh, well, how many likes do you have on your last post?
You're right. And it's what's crazy, I'm going to go off of that, what you just said, CEO. When I just posted earlier, not about the show tonight, but a different post on my Instagram, which is at One World Magazine, the number 1. And I look at how many people interact with my post, and it's not tons of people, but when you look at who exactly interacted with my post, you'll see that these are factors. These are real motherfucking artists, real labels, real CEOs, real producers, real people in the industry. Might be like you or me, but they're real at what they do. And these are the people who correspond with me and interact with my posts.
Exactly, man, because, like, I know a lot of the same type of people you're talking about. Like, I know people who have been in the industry 20, 30 years, they don't even have an Instagram. But at the same time, it's like they don't need it because they've got their name out. They've got their name in the industry already. They don't need to build something right now because they've got the credentials that whoever's not looking at credentials really doesn't matter. And that's what I think a lot of people lost touch with is everyone's so focused on that. People who let their music slack because they're focused on their social media.
Right. You're right, bro. It's just a lot of artists were born into this social media world and era of time. So this is all they know. They don't know that physical magazines used to be the Bible in hip-hop. You know what I mean?
Man, like,
I don't know that.
So many of them, too.
Absolutely. Print and hip-hop is still alive and thriving. You still have Double XL. You still have The Source. You got Vibe. You got Hip Hop Weekly. And not to mention, you got probably, there are definitely more independent hip-hop magazines in print than there are mainstream hip-hop magazines in print. That's a fact. So in California alone, there's probably 15 credible, if not more, credible print hip-hop magazines. So how do they survive? How do they survive? Well, simply by numbers. There's that much talent out here. There's that many people wiggling. There's that many people pushing. Yes, there is.
Well, definitely, man. And that's something I like to see because there's certain things that are just timeless. You know, it may be old school, but that's just never going to die. That's always going to be a powerful tool in the industry, always going to be a factor.
I believe so. As long as we all still continue to be physical beings, we'll always appreciate physical anything. As long as we have to eat, we're physical. You know what I mean? This is a physical world. Don't get twisted. Just because the latest technology that they throw in our face is digital, don't believe that that's all there is. There's power in any type of tool. What do you mean? A hammer isn't worth shit? Without that hammer, you can't push that nail in. You know what I mean? It's a physical tool. It all has its place in time. And what I mean by time, meaning your timing. Because the time is always now, but it's about when is it your time to be in print, to solidify what you're doing as a hustle, or to put in print and just plaster on the wall of history that this is what you did at this time, check it out. Because that's what print does. That's all print does anyway, is just document history. That's why there's a Holy Bible, there's a Torah, a Quran. You know what I mean? These books exist because somebody documented history. So that's all I do at One World Magazine is document history. So print is always going to be powerful. As long as the people know how to read, then whatever I write is valuable.
Hell yeah, man. That's some inspirational shit right there.
Yes, sir.
So what's your what do you think is the best story or your favorite story or subject you've covered so far?
Story?
Story, subject, or topic, or artist you've covered so far.
You know, that's a tough one, honestly. I mean, there's always so many things going on in hip-hop, but at One World Magazine, we never normally focus on the biggest stories in hip-hop because all the biggest mainstream covers that, and I don't necessarily want to just regurgitate the same old shit that every single entity of media in hip-hop is pushing out. So, with me, honestly, I just always take the approach of just trying to find the most talented people that cross my path, and that's what I focus on at One World Magazine. So I don't necessarily follow any trends like, X-Rated's home out of prison, wonderful, woo, yeah, that's a subject, it's on my mind, it's on my desk, but it has when I get to it, when we cross paths, that's the right time. That's what I mean in timing. And so, other than that, I mean, I don't really focus on specific subjects. Again, every issue I put out, I'm always just trying to put out the best possible issue I can with what I have on my desk. Like now, the CEO show is in the next issue of One World Magazine because our paths crossed, you know what I mean? And now this is just how the progression moves. This is how One World Magazine moves. We move at anything that crosses our path that makes sense, you know what I mean, including media like yourself. So I don't really have any specific subjects or a story that I can recall, but ultimately I'm always just down for new relationships, knowing new labels, artists, entities, and basically just growing with what I'm doing. And if we can grow together, then all the better, because it's about credibility. That's how the streets are, and so I believe that's how media should be as well, credibility.
Exactly, man. Credibility, loyalty, and respect. That's all it takes.
Yes, sir.
And I'm looking at this issue. You got out the fall issue with Cali Life on the magazine, on the cover of the magazine. You got a lot of great ads in here. What kind of deals do you have for the advertisers out there? I mean, anyone out there listening that might want to advertise in your magazine.
Advertising in One World Magazine is very easy, and we're very affordable because One World Magazine, we have distribution. We're on newsstands. We're in Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, airports, wherever magazines are sold. We're in Canada, overseas. So our pricing right now is for $500. You get a full-page ad. And if you're an artist, we can do an article or an album review to go with it. So we're pretty affordable again. So, I mean, we do quarter-page slots for $100. And that's just a quarter-page slot.
Wow.
Yeah, bro. It is really good. It's very, very affordable for what it is.